Hey, Tanya Landis here. Are you addicted to sugar? I was totally addicted to sugar, and it's probably the number one thing I deal with clients is sugar addiction. Speaking from being a former sugar addict, I know how hard it can be. When I actually finally decided that I needed to get healthy and fit, it was one of the hardest things for me to overcome. Right before I started my fitness journey, my diet consisted of, those sugary drinks you get from Starbucks, white mocha, lattes. Those were my thing. Sometimes one, sometimes two a day. I would do like caramel macchiatos here and there. I also loved Diet Dr. Pepper, and I would have like two of those a day. They're just loaded with crap and sugar. And then I would do candy at night, and I loved candy. Like, candy was my thing. Sugar, sugar, sugar. And I realized that it was causing me problems. Well, first off, it was prohibiting me from getting healthy because I was starting this weight loss journey and also eating healthy. And I swear, when I started it, it was like the sugar cravings were the hardest thing for me to give up. And then what happened was I realized that sugar was also triggering anxiety for me. I struggled with anxiety, and sugar is a trigger. It's a big trigger for me. Even now, if I go eat sugar, I can feel it trigger. It usually triggers anxiety later on. It's not like immediate, but it builds up in my system and it triggers that. And so I decided, you know what, I've got to beat this. People are addicted to all sorts of things. They're addicted to alcohol. They're addicted to drugs. They're addicted, to television, to online video games, all sorts of things. And sugar is a real addiction. And I don't want it to have a stronghold on my life. And I don't want to display that to my children. I don't want them to be addicted to sugar as well. And they were young. And so I was like, I got to do something about this. I got to get healthy. I've got to kick the sugar habit. So I was able to kick it. I don't struggle with sugar at all actually anymore. This did not happen overnight. This took time. It's not like it just goes away. Just like if somebody who's struggling with a different addiction like alcohol, it's not just going to go away, and the temptation can always be there for some. And so I want to give you some real tips on how to overcome it. But first, real quick, I want to tell you why you get addicted to sugar. Sugar is addicting. When you start putting it in your body, you want more and more and more. And it triggers all sorts of things. It can trigger emotions. It can trigger other bad eating habits. But you just never feel satisfied, right? Even if you're like craving that candy bar, you go eat it, you want more. You constantly want more because it's an addiction. And I know people may disagree with me, but it's an addiction. And so it's time to kick it if you truly want to get healthy. You cannot be healthy and still consuming large amounts of sugar. Trust me, I tried. The first year of my health journey, I tried to do it while fueling my body with sugar, and I wasn't getting the results I wanted, and I also was extremely tired. Have you guys experienced that where you do that sugar, you do the sugar to keep you awake? Like, I did that when my kids were little, and then I would have like that afternoon crash, and it just was terrible. And also it was causing me gut issues. I had a lot of digestive issues, and a lot of them were caused by sugar. And so that was my experience, and I'm like, I have to beat this. So here are my 5 tips for beating sugar. First, make a decision to quit sugar. You've got to tell yourself, if it's something you truly want to do, then you need to tell yourself, I'm going to do this and I'm going to succeed. I know for some you may feel like that's silly, but in all reality, whenever you decide to do something, you have to make that decision and be committed to it. The way that you do this, especially if it's a struggle for you, I recommend journaling. So take out a journal and write down how you feel after you eat sugar. So think about it next time you go get like that caramel macchiato from Starbucks, or you down a bunch of your kids' Halloween candy, and write down how you feel afterward. Like, it's instant gratification while you're eating or drinking it, but how does your body feel afterward? and write it down and really connect with, how your body's feeling. How are you mentally feeling? Are you feeling foggy? Are you feeling a little sick? Do you feel jittery? I know I would feel jittery and it was like up and down, up and down. Is it affecting your mood? For me, it triggered anxiety and it triggered depression. And I find that for a lot of my clients, it triggers anxiety and depression. And if they're already prone to those, it makes it worse. And so definitely, take into account how it affects your mood. Is it triggering anxiety? Is it triggering depression? Is it making it worse, or is it making it better? Chances are it's probably making it worse. So write down in a journal how it's making you feel and why you're deciding to stop it. What are the pros of giving up the sugar addiction that has a stronghold on your life? Like, how would you feel? Personally, I don't want to be, living my life addicted to anything. And I truly believe sugar is an addiction, as I've said before. I don't want something to have that kind of hold on my life and on me. So write down why you're wanting to give it up. Is it so you feel better? Is it to help your anxiety, your depression? Is it to help you lose weight, to get healthy? Is it to help you be a better example for your children? So write that down. That's tip number 1. Make a decision and really think about it and write it in a journal. And then also, anytime you have sugar, immediately write down how it makes you feel. If you don't have a notepad with you, write it in the note section of your phone. I did that. And then when I was tempted to eat sugar, I would go back and I would read that and see how it would make me feel and really think about it. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second tip is to check yourself. Why are you reaching for the sugar? Why are you ordering, that 50 gram of sugar Starbucks from, Starbucks coffee from Starbucks? I'm sorry, Starbucks, I love you, but I had to break up with you. you were costing me lots of money and lots of, I was also, consuming large amounts of sugar in your drinks. So write, why are you doing it? Is it to get that instant gratification? Is it because you want the sugar to make you feel better? Are you are you feeling uncomfortable and you're like, I just gotta have it? Check yourself. Why are you doing it? Is it because you're stressed out? I know for me, I would grab sugar when I was stressed. So I would be, stressed out about something. The kids were being crazy, and I would just stuff my mouth full of candy, and I'd be like, oh, and then I would feel like crap. So check yourself. Why are you reaching for the sugar? Is it stress? Is it because it's habit? A lot of us, it's habit. Is it something you've just become accustomed to? So check yourself. Why are you reaching for the sugar? Next, number 3, you've got to get disciplined. And I know this can be hard because I was somebody that struggled with discipline. Get the sugar out of your house if you have it in your house. And if you're like, oh, but my kids, your kids shouldn't have sugar either, you guys. If it's not good for you, it's not good for them. Because I know when I first was, saying, oh, I don't really want to get the sugar out of my house because then I feel bad for my kids. That was just an excuse I was telling myself. But really, if it's bad for you, then why would I want my kids to have it? So make sure that you remove the temptation. Think about if it's a habitual thing for you and you go reaching for sugar in your pantry, like candy, like that stash of candy you got, or if you've got like Hershey bars in your freezer, throw them out. I know it's hard, but do your journaling, check yourself, and then get disciplined. Throw out the sugar and think about other things that are temptations. Is it, different restaurants you go to? Is there like a favorite dessert you always feel like you have to have? Just start thinking about it and get rid of the temptations, and also set yourself up for success. So if it's, going to Starbucks to meet your friend and you're like, I can't walk into Starbucks without ordering a venti caramel frappuccino, then, and you want to actually give up sugar, then maybe ask your friend if they could meet you somewhere else and not at Starbucks. There's plenty of I love Starbucks. I'm sorry, Starbucks, but it's one of the ones I see so many people struggle with. Then meet them somewhere else. If it's going to a particular restaurant and you always order like a specific dessert, then maybe pick a different restaurant, but remove those temptations while you're trying to beat this, okay? And then number 4, start filling your body with nutritious food, okay? So you want to start filling your body with good foods. You want to fill it with other things. The reason your body is craving sugar is it's missing important nutrients. And a lot of people don't get that. So they try to fill it with more sugar to help the problem, but you're making the problem worse. You need to actually get your nutrition in check. You need to eat a healthy diet. If you need help with that, reach out to me and I'll give you a free 7-day plan that is a 7-day meal plan. You can have it for free and it will really help you kick off your healthy eating. Next, stop telling yourself that it's okay just to have a little bit. Because when I actually totally believe in lifestyle dieting. I believe in, allowing treats. I believe in having wine. I believe in those things. But what I don't believe in is if you're addicted to something, to having small amounts of it. Because what those small amounts, it's like dipping your toe into the water and then you just go all the way in with it. And that's how addiction works. So if you're truly addicted to sugar and you find yourself binging on it or doing those other things, then for a time you need to cut it. I'm sorry. So a lot of times what I tell clients that are truly struggling a lot with the sugar is you've got to give it up for a bit because it's just tricking your body, it's tricking your mind, and a little bit means that you're going to go full in. That doesn't mean you're never going to be able to have it. You can plan for those things. For example, if you have a birthday party or a wedding, or you've got you're going out on a special date with your spouse and you're going to have some special dessert, that's fine. It's just that a lot of times people will take that too far and they'll be like, well, I had it yesterday. I'm just going to have a little bit today. And then that little bit, it just gets blown out of proportion. So if you're one of those people that can't just do a little bit, then just give it up at least for 30 days and see how you feel. Also journal how you're feeling when you don't have it, when your body is actually feeling good. Now, I won't lie, the sugar withdrawals are brutal. It usually will last, I find that most people will have a headache for 3 to 5 days. They're going to feel a little bit foggy, but if they can make it through that detox period, then they're like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I haven't felt this clear or awake in so long. So, trusting the process will really, really help. And just make sure that, you make that decision, number one, and you journal about it. Number 2, check yourself. Why are you going for the sugar? Number 3, you need to get disciplined, remove those temptations, plan, around habits that cause you to go for that sugar. Number 4, make sure you're filling your body right with good nutrition. And number 5, if you're somebody that, can't just do a little bit and it leads to more, then don't, just cut it for a bit, okay? And if you need help with this, I do have a free 7-day group starting on Monday. I would be more than happy to add you and give up sugar for 7 days. See how you feel. It can make a big difference for you. It truly made a big difference for me. I am healthier than I have ever been. And you guys, I was a true sugar addict. It was bad, and it took me a while to give it up, but I am so glad I did. I don't have that fog anymore. I don't have, I don't have sugar having a stronghold on me. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm a good weight. I don't struggle with the temptation that bad anymore. I do have my triggers, and I do go into more in depth on that in my groups. And I also am setting an example for my kiddos, but I did it for me. I wanted to get rid of it. I didn't want to deal with it anymore, and I'm so glad I did. So if you need some help with that, comment below and I'll add you to that free group. If you would like my free 7-day meal plan, comment. Please send me that free 7-day meal plan with your email and I will send it right off to you. All right, you guys, have an awesome day and I hope these tips help you.